Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Journey to Justice. In preparation for Series 1, Part 4 of my Journey to Justice series, I decided to take a look at some of the, part of my research, to take a look at some of the resumes of the professors, particularly the ones that are most responsible for my issue at the University of Miami. Starting with Dr. Hushman, I went online today and I was searching and came across her resume. And Dr. Hushman became a nurse in 1978. She practiced at the bedside for less than a year, from 78 to 79, in a burn unit. It could have been June of 78 to January of 79, likely less than a year she practiced. So from 79 to 1985, after less than a year, she got into managerial administrative position. When you talk about the white privilege, this is a clear example. As a registered nurse, it takes so much struggle to move from the bedside into any other position, particularly when you are a minority nurse. This likely applies to Hispanics as well, Africans, anybody from the islands, Indians, brown people, and black people, and Hispanics all struggle to go up the ladder, this hierarchy ladder. This is a woman, a white woman, back in the late 70s, with less than a year, promoted to managerial position. She was working already in the quote unquote health department position. So from this was 79 to 85. She started at the Schenectady City Health Department, where she worked with WIC patient, WIC, WIC, right? And moving forward, in 85 to 90, she was still in the health department. From 1990 to 1993, she was now a clinical nursing specialist. That's mostly research and reading the literature about nursing and stuff like that. So from 93 to 94, she only spent 1 year in New York. Once again, still in the health department sector. And then from 94 to 2012, she was now in Florida. She's now in Florida Department of Health in West Palm Beach. And then from 2012 beyond, she's been further south in Miami at the University of Miami. So this is a nurse with 45 years of nursing experience, and less than one of those years is at the bedside actually touching patients. And here's another interesting idea from the university's website, University of Miami's website. The very first term that the second paragraph of her somewhat biograph on the university states that Dr. Hushman has been a clinician, a nurse leader, an educator for over 35 years. Clinician is a very interesting term. I would think that a clinician is someone at the bedside like myself, working with patient. Now, she did work with patients. That was less than a year. So why would the university lump clinician and all of her years of experience add this word clinician in the 35 years of experience? That's a bit misleading. This is someone who has spent the 45 years of her nursing career in a leadership slash bureaucratic position. So this is part of the issue with some of these professors. They are not in touch with the struggles of minorities, with the struggles with, at the bedside, actually helping patients. Another important point to make is that she at the university taught a class called Health Disparity. And also, with 27 years of experience in the Department of Health, in the class she taught, she certainly knows a lot about diversity, disparity, I should say. So, for someone with this much knowledge about the disparities in the African American communities, in the Hispanics and Brown people's communities, to be perpetuating what she's doing at the university is a disgrace. This is something that the alumni of the University of Miami should know about. All their donors giving them $14 million a year and royalties, they should know about these things. These people are more interested in maintaining their power. They're more interested in having a position in their nice offices instead of actually helping students and even patients. She did less than 1 year at the bedside helping actual patients. But yet, she's a licensed practicing teaching nurse. So, another key point to make is that it is very important to understand the mindset of someone who sits in such a position for so long. If you look in my prior video, Dr. Julio Frank, and the last, I believe it was in 2020, made $1.5 million as a university president. I mean, with this kind of income, even I would be reluctant to have any kind of disciplinary or having any kind of ruffle any feathers at the university. If you make $1.5 million in a position, even the people under you can be the reason why you get removed. If you discipline a subordinate that has some sort of the right connection, you could lose that $1.5 million income job. So no wonder why I sent President Frank over 3 emails, which he has not responded, right? The deans under him, they make less, obviously, but then he obviously does not want any enemies. So this is the machinery of any institution with a bureaucratic mindset. It's a mindset of preserving my position. It's a mindset of political correctness. It's a mindset, it's almost like a cult. If you look around and you see all the pictures where they throw the U sign and all of that, it's almost like they're praising the institution. They're bowing down to the institution. They don't want any problems. They're happy. They're protected by all the lawyers. Let us all be on one mindset, one ideology, and where what anyone do is supported by everyone else. Group psychosis, right? So having said that, I know I have made a lot of promises with Dr. Velasquez. Finishing that video, do the part 2, and my continuing research with regards to Mr. Hitler and all his malicious acts that he did, and how I feel that the Mount Sinai is continuing those harms. I'm gonna make do on all my promises. I can tell you that. So but I thought I'd speak with you today regarding my continuing research for part 4. So, um, part part 4 mostly heavy on retaliation, particularly with Dr. Hushman, how she exercised her power in some areas, calling me into the university way before I needed to return. They failed me summer, but they brought me back in the spring just to give them more time for retaliation, and which they, the very at time the very first couple weeks I returned, that they actually started their retaliation, the retaliative acts. All of that stuff is the pattern is extremely clear, preventing me from working if I wanted to work until the summer, and that's just attacking you financially. All these are different tactics that they use. She pushed her, she exercised her power when it was needed to force me back in, put me into the school with no tuition, no, and then but all the different tactics that she did, and when it was time to cause harm, then she would just suddenly, she wouldn't use her power to do the right thing. So all those things I want to talk to you about. One more thing, multiple meetings in person I had with them, they used to interrupt me a lot every time I'm on the path or a line of something that's making sense, that's indefensible. She would just shout over me and just interrupt me, and I mean, like, I can write more than 2 books on my experience from the University of Miami. Extremely brutal, inhumane type of ideology and treatment of minority students. Having said that, this video is getting way too long. Thank you so much.